We live, buddy.
All
So
right.
what's going on? How you doing, man? Thank you for doing this with me. I appreciate it, man. Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
my pleasure. Thanks for reaching out.
S- so I decided to do this. There was a couple of reasons why, and I want to explain a little bit. Why I was so excited to actually do this. First of all, I got a lot of slack on my YouTube page because I used to bring this conversation up a lot during my interviews. I don't know if you know that I did interviews with Kevin Nash, a couple of other wrestlers, and I would bring it up, you know, and fans will blast me online and wonder why I always bring this up, you know, and they thought just because I was there that that's the reason why I bring it up. And it wasn't just that. It was, the experience, the feeling, and everything that happened that day. The whole
Yeah.
experience in itself. And I feel, the reason why they, came at me like that is because they would never understand. Because I mean, you would know. You had to be there that day to know how that was that day, that feeling, that experience. You had to
Yeah.
be there. It was just amazing. It was magical, and it's unexplainable. So this is why I kind of wanted to get y'all on. So when I seen his interview, and I didn't see your interview. I seen his, and I found his name. I hit him up on
Hmm.
Facebook, and he got back to me. And I asked him if you would be willing to do it. I was gonna do both of y'all at the same time, but I thought it would be a little, maybe too long, maybe a little confusing. I don't know. I just thought maybe it'd be better doing it separate. Another
Yeah.
thing
Yeah.
is, another thing is, I always heard about um Madison Square Garden and the feeling you get in that place. I hear, a lot of people that passed away have performed in that building, and people say that
Right.
their spirits live in that building, you know, and
Mm.
I find that funny because you walk in that building and it's just you just get a feeling that I don't know if you felt it, but it's just different, man. You walk in there and it's like you get chills in your body in that building, so it wasn't just the
Yeah.
experience itself with the curtain call. I feel the building played a big part, you know so I just wanted to get a little in depth about that. That's going to be in the end of the interview. First we're going to talk a little bit about wrestling and what you feel about
Sure.
things going on, things like that, so that's why I wanted to do this interview. It was mostly just to explain to the people, like, you never could understand if you wasn't in that building that day you know
Yeah.
so what are your thoughts on MSG,
Well, it's a
Madison
historic
Square Garden?
arena. Yeah, the world's most famous arena. So, it really being there for, like you said, any event, it's special. It just has a certain aura being in that building. Whether it's a concert, whether it's a wrestling show, um, you're going to get. It's going to be a good show, a good performance. Um, and I feel entertainers have to be on their A game when they're performing at the Garden, and that's how we felt. We would always go to the Garden to watch wrestling events. We knew it was like, even though some of the matches at sometimes were like, you know, not the main event matches, but you knew it was going to be a good show and the crowd was going to get into it. The crowd's for real. They're not going to be, you know, they're going to say it like it is. So that was cool. It's like going to a it's almost like going, I don't want to say like an ECW event. Crowd ain't gonna the crowd ain't fake. The crowd's for real. It's like going to a sporting event up in the Northeast. You're gonna get a good crowd that's gonna say it like it is. That it's not gonna be a bullshit audience. So
Yeah, I'm sorry, I was looking away a little. I just got a text that they saying it's dark. See it for some reason, but I'm looking on my phone and it looks fine to me. I don't know. Let me see. it's good. She said we good. All right.
All right.
Sorry about that, man. I just want to make sure it's
No,
getting
no, don't worry.
recorded right and everything's good, you know? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, man. I feel the same way, man. I feel, like I said, man, anytime I've walked in that building, you get like that certain aura, and that day was just, it was extra, and it was special that day, man. And that feeling was incredible, man. But we'll get into that a little later.
Mhm.
So, what are your thoughts on wrestling being called fake?
Um, I mean, when I was younger and I watched it, I took offense to that because I'm like, nah, nah, it's not fake. It's obviously the matches they're scripted. The ending is predetermined, but anybody who really says that they don't get it. They don't get that wrestling is it's fun, it's entertainment, and I mean it's no different than storylines and TV shows, reality shows, soap operas. That's kind of what made it appealing for me. I mean, I'm sure that's what Vince McMahon thought too. You got to add a little more to a backstory here than just have two guys just going at it. Add a little
Yeah,
suspense to it, build up.
yeah. I used to get really offended by that, and
Hmm.
first thing I used to say, you think it's fake? Let me slam you, and we'll see if it's fake.
Yeah.
But then I started trying to, like, I would put on a Mick Foley and Undertaker's Hell in the Cell, and then I would tell them, tell me that's fake, and I would try to make
Yeah.
them believers in some way or another, you know. Um, I tell them sometimes, I tell them, like I told your boy in another interview, I tell them Santa Claus is fake, the Tooth Fairy's fake. These are real people doing
Right.
real things. And I heard Jesse Ventura say that in an interview one time. That's where I got that from. So that's not original,
Yeah.
but it makes sense. Santa Claus is fake.
Right.
These are real people who get injured, they get hurt. It takes some
Right. Right.
athleticism. So yeah, that's how I feel. But I used to get more offended than now. I hear where people coming from, because I guess me, when I was younger, I looked at it. I mean, it seemed more real back then. And now that I got older, and it seems like that with everybody, like even you, that you're saying you don't watch much right now. Sometimes you look at it and
Hmm.
it's like, oh my God, this looks horrible, and you could just
Yeah.
tell, and I couldn't tell when I was a kid. So I think that kind of is what turned me off a little bit, and makes me not watch as much as before, because I do still watch, but I don't watch as much. I'm not as addicted as I was, like when I was in my 20s.
Yeah.
Yeah,
How
but
I
I
when I
definitely
found
still
out.
defend it.
Yeah.
Sorry, go
Yeah.
ahead.
Yeah. No, no, it's all good. When I found out that it was scripted, I don't know, maybe I was like 12, 13. I was watching, I went to see, I was in the Nassau Coliseum and Hogan was wrestling Mr. Perfect. He was headlining the card and, the match, obviously Hogan won. And then uh, I watched Hogan against Perfect from another event. And it was the same exact match. And that's when I was like, wait a minute, you know,
Yeah, I
that's when
seen
the
that
kind of the
before.
light bulb went off. The light
That
bulb went
happened to
off,
me
and I was
before.
like, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that happened. That happened to me before. They do that. They do that at house shows. They'll do the same match in one city and then go to another city and do the same match again. And I
yeah,
happened to see two matches that were like that, and I was just like, "What's going on here?" I didn't get it because I was young at the time. I think I was like in fourth grade at the time. So
mhm,
so yeah, I kind of seen that before as well. Yeah, I seen that before. They used to do the same matches in different cities, almost the exact same match. It wouldn't be the exact, but it would be almost pinpoint the same, man.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, I know what you're talking about. I know what you mean. Yeah. So, who, in your opinion, is the most recognizable wrestler of all time?
that'd be Hulk, right? Hulk Hogan.
Uh, I don't agree with that, but I could see where you're coming
Mhm.
from. I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna give you my reason and why. Tell me why you say Hulk Hogan.
Well, I mean, I would say that's what kind of drew me into to watching wrestling back in those days. The larger than life persona. I mean, it's a household name, so that's why I say he's like the most recognized name. I mean, obviously people came after Hulk, Rock, Austin, maybe even surpassed him. But for me, it's I would put Hulk on the list of most recognized um, wrestlers. Not the best, but most recognized.
Yes, I understand.
Yeah, yeah.
So, like I said, I can understand where you're coming from and why you would give that answer. But I'm gonna give you my answer and the reason why I say this person. So, in my opinion, it's Andre the Giant. Okay, and I'm gonna tell you why.
Hmm.
My kids know Andre the Giant. My daughter is 12, 13, and my son is 12. All right. Andre the Giant passed away over what, maybe 20 years ago, 25 years ago.
30,
And my
93,
kids
93.
and my kids know who he is. So in my
Hmm.
opinion, a wrestler has to pass away before you could get that recognition. When you recognize 25 years after you pass away, I feel it says a lot, you know? So I feel it's
Yeah.
Andre the Giant, you know? Like I said, my kids weren't even born when he was performing,
Hmm.
wasn't even born when he died, and they know who he is, you know? So that's
Yeah.
my opinion.
No.
All right,
Cool.
what in your opinion creates an unforgettable match or moment?
Um, an unforgettable match.
Or moment.
Something. Yeah, something
It don't got to
special
be a
has.
match. It can be a
Yeah, something special has to happen. Unexpected. Um, and just maybe shock value. You know, especially when it comes to pro wrestling.
yeah.
I would say.
Yeah. So I look at it a little different. In my opinion, I think, that feeling we got in MSG, I think the feeling is similar to that you get when a unforgettable match is created. I haven't seen one in years, to be honest. The last one I think I seen
Mhm.
was The Rock and Hogan at WrestleMania. It's just a
Right.
match that you can continue to watch. You could watch it over and over and never get tired of it. I could name a couple off the top of my head. I would say Hogan, Andre, Ricky Steamboat, Macho Man, Bret Hart, Piper, Hogan, Rock. Matches like that. Perfect and Bret Hart at I think it was SummerSlam when Bret won the belt from him.
Yeah.
Matches like that I could just go back and watch now, and I can't do that with every match. I can't do that especially nowadays with the matches nowadays. That Mankind Undertaker match, that was incredible. That was unforgettable. You know, I mean, you just get this feeling. I feel that it's just like similar to Madison Square Garden. It's just, it's unforgettable. It's just unforgettable. Warrior
Yeah.
Hogan, that's another one. Matches like
Hmm.
that, were very special to me. I could categorize all those matches together. I would have never put one on top of the other. I categorize them all together. I would have never say there's one greatest match of all time. You know,
Right.
it's just they all memorable. They all so amazing that I can't put one in front of the other. I feel they all belong in one category, you know?
Right.
Yeah, that's how I look at it, man.
Good point. And it's true. I would say it's something that you probably are not going to see again. You know, like this was probably a one-time thing. Even if they try to replicate it, like Hogan and Warrior, it ain't the same. It wasn't the same magic. You know.
Yeah, no. That match was horrible in WCW.
Yeah.
You expected that to be really good, and it turned out to what it was, and I was like, oh my God, unbelievable. I can't believe that. Warrior was like, it's so ironic how he had the greatest match with him and then his worst match with him as well. He
Yeah.
said that in an interview.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what are your five greatest moments in wrestling? If you know, if you can name five, if not three.
5 greatest. Obviously, Curtain Call is on that list. Um,
Definitely.
I want to say um, probably not a lot of people, not probably not on a lot of people's list. WrestleMania 11 first was my first WrestleMania I went to in Hartford, Connecticut. You know, kind of got dumped on because of the time, the matches, the time that the state of pro wrestling at the time. But it was something that was special to us. Manny was there too with me, him and
The
his
whole
buddy,
card?
and just being there. I would say just being there as
Okay.
part of a WrestleMania. Um, and the matches. It was LT Bam Bam, uh, Brett Backlund, Diesel versus Sean,
Yeah.
um, Taker versus I think it was Bundy, and Razor Jarrett. Um, so that let's see what other event we went to
Not
a lot
event.
of good shows.
Not event. Not event.
Moments,
Five greatest matches of all time. Not the whole event in itself. Your five greatest
okay,
matches.
matches. I would have told you as a kid. We were there. I was there November 26, 94 when Diesel won the belt from Backlund. Um,
Yeah.
that one was
You was
pretty
there that day?
cool to. Yeah, yeah, that was
Nice.
pretty cool to
Nice.
be at. Obviously, now looking back differently, I'm like, what the hell was that about? Like there was no build up to that. It
Yeah.
made no sense. He was on TV as a bad guy. No time to really show the audience that he was a good guy, and then here he is, number one contender, and he beats Backlund with a kick in like 8 seconds, and that was it. I mean, as a kid, it was pretty awesome. Totally unexpected. We weren't when we walked in there that day. We weren't like, oh yeah, he's going to win the belt from Backlund. No, we weren't thinking that. I don't
Let
think
me
many
just say a
people
little
thought about
something about that. About that.
that.
So you're right. There was no build up, but I remember that clearly. I remember what happened and why they did that. Why I remember exactly why. I was a little older than you, so I kind of understood wrestling a little more, probably. I'm 40. I'm 49. I'm about to be 50. So
Yeah. Okay.
I'm a little older than you. So if you
Yeah.
remember, in the Royal Rumble before that, Diesel was eliminating everybody and standing by himself, similar to what Stone Cold did. Remember?
Yeah.
Remember, he was eliminating guys and waiting for guys to come in. They would come in and he would eliminate them, and he was the only one in the ring. Remember that. If you remember that day, the
Yeah.
fans were cheering him. They were cheering him. When he
Yeah.
left, when he got eliminated, they were screaming, Diesel, Diesel. And he was a bad guy. Vince
Yeah.
McMahon noticed that. Vince McMahon noticed that. He noticed that, and also, if you remember, there was I don't know if you watch um Kevin Nash interviews, but he talks about it a lot. They were doing drug testing back then, Remember, Lex Luger had just came, and he was a lot slimmer than what he was in WCW.
Yeah.
He wasn't on steroids. Nobody was on steroids. Diesel was the only one they looked at and said, "This is the only guy that's still big." And Vince, he likes big guys. So on top of that, the fan him, and he went with him. You know, I understood why he went with him back then.
Yeah.
I knew what
He
it
did
was.
the Triple Crown that year pretty much. He won the IC, he won
Yeah,
the tag belts, so and the
yeah,
world title. So
yeah, yeah, man. But he had a little cult following while he was a
mhm.
heel. You know, they were just starting to catch on. It was just starting to like him, and Vince he went with it. Yeah. So that
I
keeps
would have
continue.
liked
What
to
else?
see. Yeah. I would have liked to see uh, I would have liked to see him turn face in the fans' eyes on TV at least for like a few weeks, a month, and then pull something like that. Then it would have been, I don't know, it would have
Yeah.
been, in hindsight, may have been better because, um, but anyway, so the next moment, so the next moment would have been, let's see, and we went to a lot of events back in those days. Um, yeah, I don't know. I'm probably gonna think about it. Probably think about it. I mean, I liked when Warrior came back. You know,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah. Me too. I like
actually,
that.
I I liked when Warrior came back. I liked it in '96, but that didn't last that long. But I would say when the best moment in when Bret Hart came back. I would say that in 2010 when he came back
Yeah.
and he made up. I
Yeah.
think that was pretty cool. Sometimes I watch that
Yeah.
on YouTube and I'm like, wow, man, who would have thought? Who would have thought that would have even happened? You know, after the screw job
Yeah.
and all that stuff that followed. So
Yeah. I never would have thought that. It's true. I never would have thought that. I missed him, man. But I was like, me and your friend talked about that a little bit, and
hmm
yeah, I was saying, I didn't like that he didn't wear his gear in the match with Vince and things like. That's what I was waiting for. I wanted to see Bret Hart, from back then. I didn't want to see him in shorts and sneakers. Same thing with Stone
yeah,
Cold when he came back with his match with Kevin Owens. I wanted to see him in his gear, especially Stone Cold. He was in Brett. I can understand he wasn't in too good shape then, but Stone Cold was in good shape still. He could have still wore
yeah.
his gear. It would have been nice to see that. All right. How about your five greatest wrestlers of all time?
So five good wrestlers. So be be Hulk, Austin, Brett, um, Flair, and Undertaker.
Yeah, so going back to that question, like I told you before, I don't
hmm
categorize the matches that I feel were the greatest, one in front of the
hmm
other. Um Macho Man, I forgot about that one, the Ultimate Warrior Macho Man, in the end with Elizabeth when they hugged, and that was amazing. And that was one of the,
Yeah.
I spoke about that with your boy too. That was an
hmm
amazing moment, man. Yeah. But I don't like when I asked that question, I asked the question to see, if your thoughts are similar to how I think. I don't
Yeah.
categorize the matches that I think were the greatest.
Right.
I put them all together.
Right.
So as far as favorite wrestlers of mine, number one is Hulk Hogan, Ultimate Warrior. Is my second. Bret Hart, Macho Man, and I guess I would put Undertaker there. You know, those would be my five favorite. Macho Man is definitely in there. He's a man.
Hmm. Yeah.
I miss him so much. Yeah. So your one favorite wrestler of all time, I'm guessing Hulk Hogan too, right?
Yeah, I mean that's what drew me to wrestling, and I even in the '90s I always kind of felt probably like most fans is like when Hogan left the WCW, I was like, is it just like a one-time thing? Is he gonna come back? And and I remember it was like, no, Hogan's done with WWF. He's not. They're going in a different direction, new generation, youth movement, and so yeah, I felt I'm glad he came back. I mean, I know it took some time, and I didn't like the bad Hogan coming back to WWF. I was
You
like,
didn't
this
like
is
him?
not how he's remembered here. It didn't make sense when he. I was like, and I'm glad they turned him within a few months. It just didn't make any sense for him to come back as a bad guy. Fans don't remember that in WWE.
You know what I didn't understand, and I say to this day, I think they ruined him at that time, and I'm gonna tell you why. So if you remember what happened with him and Rock at WrestleMania, he was a heel and he got cheered over the Rock.
Yeah.
Nobody expected that. Nobody expected that. I didn't expect that, you know, and and it happened. So what they did after that was they went and turned him red and yellow again. So what I think is that they should have left him black and white, kept his music from the NWO because it wasn't the NWO music; it was some rock. I don't know the group that sings that song, but that's a rock song. That
Hmm.
I think they should have kept that, kept his black and white, but made him a face, made him a good guy. I think the fans would have. I think because they were going crazy for Hollywood, they wasn't going crazy for the red and yellow. In WrestleMania when he wrestled The Rock, they were going crazy for Hollywood. So they should have, in my opinion, left them Hollywood, left them black and white, left the music, and kept them going like that. He would have been much. He would have took off. I think they did the red and yellow, and what happened? He went straight down. Fans were tired of that. That was from the '80s. You know,
Yeah.
that's how I feel. I always say they should have left him black and white. I always say that. Yeah, I
Hmm.
feel that was a mistake in their part.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Hogan was the one who got you into wrestling, then, right?
Yeah.
He's the one that you seen that caught your eye, right, and made you love it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I
he's my.
was we
I'm sorry. I'm
No, no, it's
sorry. Go ahead.
okay. Yeah, we were at a friend's house, family friend, and the kid, their son was watching. He was into wrestling, and I don't know if it was I don't know if it was Saturday night main event or Saturday morning wrestling, but I remember seeing Hulk and Andre doing something, and I was just glued to it. And after that, I started watching, and every Saturday. I didn't have cable back in those days, so I watched over the air Saturday, Sunday morning, and then whenever they have a Saturday night main event.
Yeah. Um. So he was my favorite wrestler of all time as well.
Mm.
But he wasn't the one that got me into wrestling. Like I said, I'm a little older than you, so I was watching from before he was champion, and before him it was Bob Backlund. I seen Bob Backlund doing.
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever seen it. He was doing some step ups on a 1 hour show that they had
Hmm.
in the morning. It was a 1 hour show, and he was doing step ups for the whole hour of the show. They would go to a match,
Hmm.
come back, and he would be there doing the step ups. I don't know if you ever seen that, but that's what first
No.
addicted me to it. Yeah, that's what first addicted me to it. But then I realized my mother loved wrestling as well. So they say wrestling's in the blood. So I think that was part of it. Because the minute I seen it, I was just like, I was stuck, like, and he was so clean cut, and me being, I was about 5 years old, so you're a
Right.
kid, and he looked so clean cut, and it was just, I was addicted. I was just like stuck on it, and from then on,
Yeah.
I loved wrestling. I went to Florida for a while. I lived in Florida for about a year and a half, and they had Florida Championship Wrestling over there. They didn't get WWE at the time. I was about 8 at the time, so this had to be maybe 82 around there. So they wasn't getting WWE at that time. So I got to watch Dusty down there, Barry Windham when he first started, Blackjack Mulligan, Superstar Billy Graham, Billy Jack was there, Cowboy Ron Bass was there. I got to see a lot of those wrestlers before they came to WWE. So when they came, I already knew who they were because I came back a year and a half later, and then they all started coming into WWE. And now I was watching WWE
Right.
again in New York. In fact, right before I left Florida, it looks like WWE had bought into that company because then they started giving WWE. Right before I left, they started giving WWE, and Hogan was the champion already. Yeah.
Mhm. Cool.
Yeah. Who's your favorite wrestler of the modern era? I know you say you don't watch, but you must know and see somebody you like.
Of the modern era, yeah, that's a tough one because I don't really follow. I don't really.
All right, don't worry about the question. If you can't
Yeah,
answer, you don't
I
got
wish I
nobody.
could. I
I
otherwise
could
I'd
tell
be
you
throwing a
mine,
name
though.
out there.
I could tell you
Why? Who
mine,
is it?
though. Without question, Brock Lesnar. That's the man
Brock.
right there.
Okay.
That's the man right there. I love Brock. He's a beast. That's my guy right there. Everything he's done, went to UFC, won the belt, came back,
Yeah.
he legitimized wrestling, for all the people who say wrestling is fake, we got him there,
Right.
and Bobby Lashley. I like Bobby Lashley too because he's another one. He legitimizes wrestling. I like wrestlers like that. Kurt Angle, that could fight in real life and will hurt you.
Yeah.
That's for all the people who say, wrestling's fake. I tell them, okay, get him and see if it's fake, or tell him that and
Right.
see what happens. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love to show people the Dr. Death David Schultz slap. You ever seen that?
I did.
When he
Yeah.
slapped the
Or the
reporter?
one that Vader. Or
I love
Vader.
I love showing that. Yeah, I seen that. But he just grabbed him by the shirt. That he didn't do much. Well, when
Yeah.
I show people that Dr. Death, that they see that, they be like, oh, he slapped him. I'll be like, yup.
Mhm.
Wrestlers don't like when you tell them that's fake. It's fake.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love showing people that video. So how was it to meet Vince? Talk a little bit
Oh,
about that,
we
about
never
meeting
met
Vince
Vince.
McMahon. You didn't meet
We
Vince?
never met Vince. We met Triple H.
He was there though, right? He was there that day.
Which day? The day that we
Did the
met
interviews for
Triple
WWE.
H.
Yeah.
My interview. I don't know about Manny. Maybe Manny did. But I didn't meet him. Manny's interview was in Stanford. My interview was down here when they had a SmackDown event. I went to
Oh, okay.
the arena, and I was able to. That's where they set me up. So
Yeah, he said he met him, but he didn't say much about him. He wasn't in the picture too
hmm
much. He said he dealt with mostly Triple H and stuff like that.
hmm
I hear you. Okay. All right. Tell me a little bit about the day leading up to the curtain call. What you
the day
remember,
leading
because
up.
I tell you the truth. Yeah, I have like To me, that day was like a dream, man. I don't remember much of the
Mhm.
event. Only thing I really could remember is the Owen Warrior match. I remember Shawn Michaels climbing the cage and dancing on top of the cage when he made the entrance, you know. And I remember the curtain call itself. I remember Scott Hall when they were telling him you sold out and all that, you know, and the match with Triple H.
Yeah.
That's all I really remember. I don't remember much of that day, man. Like that day is like a blur to me. It was so long ago, and it's like a dream, to be honest. That day was like a dream to me, man. Yeah, man. So speak about the date leading up to the match, and when you got there, I don't know, say whatever you feel.
Yeah, well, we knew it was a remember at the time WWF was doing like tours, World Tour de Force. They were doing like they would have they would have events like back to back at like say they'd have an event at the Coliseum, then they have an event at the Garden, and then they have an event in Jersey at the Meadowlands. Usually the same matches are close to it. So this one was kind of off that, you know. Um, and when they started announcing the card, the cage match, Warriors return, the tag match, a world title match, and we knew the next day there was a live Raw. Raw was not live every week back then; it was live every few weeks. So usually, when you have a Sunday event like that, and then a live Raw the next, you knew something could happen, because back in those days, well, the internet was just coming out, stuff would leak out. You can't have a title change and then not peop- and then on TV hide it from people for weeks. People word started to get out. Uh, especially with the internet and everything and the hotlines. But we knew it was going to be a special event. Um, as I was hoping, I knew that we knew that Diesel, Kevin Nash, and Razor Scott Hall were leaving. As a fan, I just said, bullshit, that ain't happening. Even though
Yeah, I know as
we
well.
knew the scoop. And I'm like, nah, man, Diesel's going to win the belt and whatever, but where everybody knew. And, I mean, um, so the fan inside of me was hoping for a different outcome. But yeah, we were hyped. I mean, a Sunday night was a school night. Obviously we had a few more weeks of school left. So, um, going to the city at night, on a school night probably you know, wasn't what my parents probably wanted us to do. Being home late and then getting up for school the next day. I mean, coming back, it was like almost coming back after midnight, and then whatever, waking up a few hours later for school. But anyway, we were just hyped about it. We were definitely invested in the product, and that was our thing. I mean, wrestling was our that was our that's what we went to, wrestling and video games. Me and Manny. And
You still play?
no, no,
No, man. I'll be on
the only
PS5
game,
all day.
you're gonna laugh,
I
but the
love
only
that.
game
I
that I
love that shit.
I still play. I play NHL 94. They have updated versions where they
94.
have
God, you gotta be
they
kidding
have
me.
but there's updated, they're modded versions of the 20 every since 2020 they've had the updated rosters. And
Okay.
there's guys online that
What
kind of
system is
redo
that?
they no, just a computer. I
Oh,
play on
okay, okay,
the Sega emulator, yeah. But
okay.
yeah, I mean, I used to play 95 NHL 95. I never played 94 back then, but once I saw that they were coming out with the modded versions and the tweaks, I was like, yeah, I'm hooked. So I play online with a few people sometimes. There's like an online
Yeah, I'm a
community for that.
gamer.
So,
I'm a gamer. I stream too. I stream and you know,
mhm.
yeah, I love gaming, man. That's my shit. Yeah. Damn, we had a lot in common, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speak a little about that feeling you got when you seen the curtain call going down, when you seen it happening. Like what
Uh, shock. Yeah. Shock. Like, oh, what's happening, right? Because you're not up until that point. We're not used to seeing that. We're used to seeing the match end. The loser rolls out of the ring and disappears. The winners there celebrating, especially the last match, and show's over. That's usually how it used to be. But this was a little bit like, yo, what is this? And Sean kisses Diesel on the forehead, picks him up. Then you saw Triple H come in, and then you see Razor. They're doing this click sign, and we're like, whoa, we never seen that
yeah,
before. Or if we did see it, we don't know what it meant. And
yeah,
um, then you find out they're all buddies, and it was just their send off, and that was something special. Um, it was even special to be there and record it, to capture that moment, you know. Um, and it was just yeah. I mean, it was just crazy, and you knew that they were definitely leaving. Like, okay, this is solidified that they're gone after this.
yeah.
Otherwise, why would they be doing that? And I just want to clarify. I know you're probably going to ask questions. Is that what I see a lot of people write online is that um, people say, "Oh well, uh, if it wasn't for the video, Triple H would have won King of the Ring." You know, the video didn't. The
It,
video we didn't upload no video, so it was not like the video made its rounds and went viral. For the time the video got around through tape traders, which me and Manny were the only ones who had it, we wound up giving a copy to somebody that was a dirt sheet writer, a newsletter, and then he gave it out. But that was not until July, later that summer. So there was no
yeah.
way that anybody would have even knew that a tape even existed. And so there's a lot of misconceptions about that, because there was no YouTube,
I
there was no TMZ in those days.
so I don't think there's any misconception. I think the fans on the internet are just the worst. That's the problem. I mean, it's obvious out there because it's out there. Triple H has said it. Diesel said it in interviews. When they went to the back, everybody was giving them heat. That's why Triple H
Yeah,
lost that King of the Ring,
yeah,
because the head honchos didn't like what he did. Had nothing to do with that
exactly. Yeah,
tape. Those are fans just wanted
yeah.
to be fans and talk. That's all they do. They like I said, the reason why I wanted to do this interview because I'm giving them free interviews on YouTube and they blasting me every single chance they get. You know,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
just the way the
But
internet is, man. The internet is like that, man. The internet is just the worst, man. I mean, it's not all the fans, but
right.
because I had a lot of fans. I was sending videos to England, and so I'm not saying all of them, but
Mhm.
they got them trolls that they just the worst. They just want
Yeah,
to talk. They don't even know what they're talking about. You know,
yeah. Like one guy,
but I hear
one
what
guy
you're saying.
messaged me. Yeah, one guy I think messaged me. I saw somewhere, I don't know where it was, and he's just like, "Oh, prove to me you're the one that's your real tape." I was like, "Are you for real?" I said, "I'm like, this is what, like you said, this is what, like, you know." So now we have to. Everybody has to be like an authenticator. That they want to make sure it's legit. That all you have to do is hear our voices in on that video, and you know that
I
especially
mean,
Manny.
all
I mean, he was right there.
yeah, all you got to do is look at the interview on WWE. The interview's right there with Manny.
Yeah. So
You
let me.
know, that's how I got
Yeah.
his name. And from
Yeah.
getting his name, I got you. I got your name. You know, and he got me in touch with you.
Yeah.
So, what
Yeah.
more evidence
Yeah.
you
We're
want? It's
official.
on WWE
Yeah.
TV. You know?
I know, but everybody's got to question everything, and it's crazy. But um, how that how that came about, a little bit of a story there. It wasn't just they didn't know who we were, or they didn't know we were the ones. They just knew that a tape circulated through, and you've seen it in documentaries, DVDs, going back to the early 2000s. I mean, every time I'd watch it, I'd say, "Oh, there's my video there," but I'm thinking to myself, well, they have the video. They probably don't really give a shit who recorded it. They have it, you know. Um, so it was on. They posted it on the website, their WWE website. I don't even know if it might still be up there. I mean, they changed the website so many times over the years. So, and in the bottom there was a comment section, and I just wrote my full name. Hey, this is my video. If anybody wants to reach out, feel free to reach out. Um, didn't think anybody was gonna reach out. Honestly, I'm like that. Whatever. Later that year, maybe like 4 or 5 months later, I get a message on my LinkedIn account, from a producer named Kieran, and he said, "Hey, is this the Jason Kazmis who filmed the curtain call? If so, please contact me." So I did, and I'm thinking, okay, why do they want to talk to me? They already have the video. They already put out NWO. I mean, there were so many DVDs out there. I'm thinking, what else? We already missed our window, right? That we missed our window. They had them talk about it so many times. So anyway, he was telling me we're doing a I spoke to him. We're doing a click DVD, a documentary, and we want to interview because you filmed the curtain call. Would you be interested in that? I said, yeah. I said, but look, if you're interested, you interview me. You got to interview Manny. That's my guy. He was there that night. That's the guy you hear on the video. And they
Yeah.
said, yeah, yeah, absolutely. Do you guys live near each other? I said, no, unfortunately, we don't. I'm in Florida. He's in New York. I said, but if you could fly me up there, I said I would definitely, you know, we definitely would do the interview together. And they said no. They said we won't fly you up. I said, all right, well, I
Damn,
still
they
want to do the
cheap.
interview. Yeah. I'm
Billion
like,
dollar
I mean,
company don't want to fly somebody. Unbelievable.
yeah. And I was thinking, I'm like, man, you guys showcased this video, and otherwise you'd have nothing. I mean, there were cameras there that night to film certain stuff, but they didn't film that, you know.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so
I actually thought none of it got filmed. Yeah,
what that night, if
the
they
event,
did,
the whole
because
event. I thought they didn't have cameras there.
they only whenever they do, like, whenever they did in those days, house shows and something happened, they only recorded certain certain parts for TV, like the tag title change. You remember the Body Donnas and the Smoking Guns?
I didn't
They won the belt, and that,
remember that match neither,
yeah,
man.
yeah, that was the highlight of before we even saw the curtain call. That was the highlight of the night. Hey, wow, we got to see a title change. We were
Yeah, I
there.
forgot
We
about
filmed
that.
it. So, but they filmed that obviously for Raw the next day to show everybody. Um, they filmed, I think, the Scott Hall part. They filmed that. That made it on some documentaries. I saw bits of that.
Mm,
And I think they showed part of the cage getting set up. Um, and I think that was the extent of what they recorded. But anyway, going back, so um, yeah, so they interviewed us. It went. it made it to the DVD, the Click DVD. I thought they did a great job on that. And then um, and then Manny, actually another producer contacted me about, this was like 2020, for the A&E docuseries before it was out yet. They were starting to talk about, hey, I'm doing something for Shawn Michaels. Uh, would you be interested in it? And I said, yeah. Again, I said the same thing. You can interview me, interview Manny. We'd love to tell you guys our experience that night. Um, and whatever reason, because of COVID, I just couldn't get the interview done. Um, but they got Manny because Manny was up. The guys, I think, was up in New Jersey or something. So that's what Manny
Okay.
was on the A&E. He did the stuff for the A&E series, and I'm in the credits though on the Shawn Michaels. My name is in the credits for footage. There's something with the footage provided by, and it said Jason Cosmides. Um,
Yeah.
but Yeah, but that was pretty cool, and I'm happy. Manny's, I think, a better talker, and he knows a little bit more. He was perfect for the Shawn Michaels thing because I know Shawn Michaels is one of his favorite wrestlers. Um, and Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead with your questions. I don't want to keep
So
rambling
any
on.
other interviews you did? Like any other interviews you did?
So the only other interview aside from few YouTube stuff, me and Manny did a couple YouTube videos for
With
different
who?
podcasts. I couldn't tell you the name. I'm not one of the guys. One of the guys. Damn, I forgot his name, but I've seen him on a few of the WWE documentaries. Um, as like an inside guy. I couldn't tell you the
I might
name,
have to
but
look for that. I might have to look for that
yeah,
because I never seen none. The only one I ever seen was the WWE one. That's how I found Manny.
yeah,
I got his name. I went to
yeah,
Facebook. I messaged him. I added him. That's how I got in touch with
yeah,
him. By seeing his name
yeah,
there. But I never seen no other interviews with y'all.
yeah. If you on YouTube, there was like a few that we did, but
I'm gonna look for it.
as far as, so we did the interview for the DVD, and I reached out to the producer, and I said to him, I said, hey, I know we did the interview, and I'm gonna be actually in Brooklyn, in New York. I'm gonna be in New York for uh, to visit family, and I'm gonna go to the Raw event. I would think it was like the night after SummerSlam or something. It was in that August, and me and Manny are there. I said, hey, it'd be cool if we could. I just threw it out there. I said, hey, it'd be cool if maybe we could meet you. We could meet. I don't know if I said Triple H or I just threw it out there to say, hey, we're going to be there. Let us both meet you, whatever case it was. And we already had our tickets. I wasn't asking for tickets. We had pretty good seats, and so he said, yeah, hey, I'll do a meet and greet with you guys in Triple H. So we're thinking, okay, cool. We're just, please arrive early, whatever. So um, that's what we're thinking. We're just going to meet Triple H. Going to be a meet and greet, a few pictures. That's it. So I know Manny was telling you. So while we were waiting in line, along with everybody else, they scanned our tickets, and they were giving us a hard time. Hey, where you get these tickets from? Manny's like, what do you mean? I bought them online. I think he bought them through like a broker or something. And the guy was, oh no, you gotta. It wouldn't scan for whatever reason. So he thought maybe they were fake or some shit. So we went to the customer service. They gave us new tickets, which we had really no idea why. And we never told them where we were sitting, so we knew that they didn't move us or anything like that, which was really weird. So we go there. We met the producer, and then as we're walking down the into the arena, down the stairs, we're walking to the Raw ramp and everything, and we see the camera. And I'm like, wow, this is kind of weird. Why is there a camera following us? Like we're already done with the documentary. Why they filming us for? So I started to feel like, okay, maybe something might be up a little bit. Um, and then as we're rounding the corner, we see like the staff back there, and then now not only do I see Triple H, but we see uh, who else was there? It's Scott Hall, Sean Waltman, um, and kind of huddling together like they were talking about something, and then lights are on us, and I'm like, what the hell, it's just this meet and greet. Now we're like backstage, like they're interviewing us like they would at like a wrestler. And they're like, "Oh,
Yeah.
what are you here for?" You could see it on YouTube. I mean, they have the thing on YouTube, the edited version, and so they're like, talking to us briefly, and then they're like, Triple H, hey, what you did is illegal. You're not, And I knew, I'm like, this is a this is a skit, right? They're ribbing us because, whatever. Because I know in my mind, I'm like, this ain't real. They're not gonna arrest us. They have a video that is there's no other video out there like it, and they have it all over, so they're not offended by one bit, right? So then the police officers come and they're like, arrest him. They're like, take him away, whatever. So I was smiling the whole time. I was like, I think Manny didn't know what the hell was going on or what was going to happen. But I just was smiling. I was like, yeah, I think they're messing with us, because that's what they like to do, sports entertainment. So, um, and whatever. And then he calls us back and we start asking questions, and so that was a cool experience. And definitely, obviously, something that we were not expecting. We're just expecting to meet Triple H, and so
So you wasn't scared
that's
at
how that.
all. You knew you wasn't
No,
going
no,
to jail.
no, no, not at all. It's like they're just yeah, they're just messing with us. And then yeah, then we went to our seat. No, that took took some pictures right by the ring, so that was cool. And then we went to our seats, and Manny's like, "Yeah, this is not what I paid for. Like the seats were supposed to be over there." And I'm like, "Okay, well, they moved us here." So, and then we found out later that they were uh, they were bringing in a crate later on in the show, and Sting was underneath that crate. He wasn't there the whole show, but it was like he was under there for maybe, like, I don't know, maybe 20, 30 minutes or whatever. Then it was like they did an unveiling, and he attacked, I think it was Seth Rollins.
Seth
So
Rollins, yeah, I remember when
yeah,
they lifted up and he was, yeah, in the ring, right?
yeah,
Yeah, that was
yeah.
Seth.
And so that's how that came about. Um, and
That's
that was
cool. So
cool.
you was
It was one
there
of those.
when Sting was there.
Yeah, yeah.
That's cool. So what you was gonna say? That was cool. What?
No, it was just something unexpected. Just another piece that we could share a
Yeah,
story with.
definitely, definitely. That Sting moment was a pretty good moment, man. That was nice. It was
Yeah.
a surprising moment. You didn't expect that. So you wasn't sitting in the seats that you actually paid for. Were the seats
No,
good though? They were
yeah,
as
yeah, they
good
were
as the
good.
ones you had.
I would say probably better. I mean, we're a few.
Okay.
If you go back to that show, you could see us. You could see us in the crowd, like certain angles that the camera was on. You could see us. We were
Yeah.
like, I think, second or third row from the actual barricade to the ring. So
So after the event, you ain't do nothing with them. You didn't go to the back or nothing like that.
no, no, we
No.
just went home. We just left
Okay.
and went home. There was no, hey, come. Nobody invited us after because they're on a tight schedule. That's why they were making a big deal that we only had a certain window to meet with them before the show. So yeah, but really all it was me just kind of opening my mouth and throwing it out there, saying, "Hey, me and Manny are gonna be at Raw. Be nice to meet you and
Yeah.
maybe a wrestler or whatever." And then the guy put it together, made it happen. He even told us, he said, "Hey, I didn't know they were gonna do this to you." So he didn't even know that they were gonna do a rib on us and a, a little skit like that.
So
So
so so you didn't do no interviews or anything like that day. They just faked like they was gonna arrest you and that's it. And you met Triple H or
well,
stuff like that.
the interview, yeah, I mean, like, if you YouTube, can I put it in here? Is there a chat in here?
Uh, is there? Yeah, it is actually. See where it says chat on the left bottom? I think it's there.
Yeah.
It says it on mine. I don't know if it says it on yours. You got to click on it.
Yeah, I'm trying to find it because I know it's on here. So,
I got it right on the bottom under the mic, under where the mic says mute and stuff like that. I don't know if it's the same on your side.
but yeah, go ahead, ask me another question.
So this is an important question right here because like I said, I did the interview mostly to explain why I wanted to tell people about the experience that day and MSG and all of that. So
Right.
I want you to tell me if it was any other building, Nassau, Meadowlands, anywhere in New York or any other state, do you think you would have had the same feeling as that day whenever we was in MSG?
Um, but I just posted, by the way.
I
No,
see it. I got it.
probably
I
not.
see it.
Probably
Yeah.
not the same. It won't be as impactful. Um, Maybe back in those days, I don't know, but nowadays, I don't know. Seems like anything can happen anywhere, and as long as there's a phone a phone camera around, it's gonna be documented and uploaded. But yeah, I mean, the garden's known for historic, moments, and that was definitely one of them. It's funny too. I noticed on this YouTube, if you look at the first comment, the guy says the guy's responsible for Triple H not winning King of the Ring and getting the huge push Austin had.
Bro, I don't pay minor comments no more. Let me tell you something.
Yeah.
I got a YouTube, my YouTube page right now. I have 3,400 and something followers. I think, over 2 million views, probably more. I don't remember. I haven't looked for a while. But I just got back into doing the interviews on YouTube. You were my second, your boy was my first, and I've been streaming a lot on my gaming stuff. So I had a good page going for a while. I interviewed 25 wrestlers: Honky Tonk Man, Diamond Dallas Page, Kevin Nash, Justin Credible, Perry Saturn. I have a list of names that I've interviewed. I did 25 in
Right.
total. I said this in the other interview. I think you probably watched it, you probably heard it, but that was one of the things that actually turned me off was the comments that the fans used to make, man. And it literally made me stop. It made me not want to do it no more. I didn't want to deal with it no more. I regret it. I
Yeah.
definitely regret it because now I know better, and I would just ignore them. But I let it get to me, and because I could
It
have been
does. It does
making,
get under your
bro,
skin.
that
Yeah.
was, yeah, it does. That was in 2000. I started in 2000. I think it was 2012 to 2013. I had said 14 to 15 before, but it wasn't. It was actually I think it was 12 to 13. I spent that year doing that. and it was just aggravating. You know, I was putting free stuff out there. They didn't ever have to pay for it. You know, and they sitting there blasting me
Yeah.
and about the smallest things. You know, like my voice. Oh, I hate this guy's voice, and you know, just stupid things like that. I was like, you know what? I'm not doing this shit no more, you know. But if I would,
Yeah.
I played myself. I played myself because I would have stuck to it. It probably would have been pretty big right now, you know. And in a sense, like I told your boy, I understand where it was coming from because, you know, sometimes I did used to do certain things that I would cringe over. You know what I'm saying? But as time went on, you know, I got better. You know, like I never did this before. You know, so you know, as time went on, I got better, and I listened to some of the stuff that they were saying, even though it got me pissed off. You know, besides the I hate this guy's voice because I can't change my fucking voice. You know, but you know, I learned from the comments as well. But it just totally turned me off, and I stopped, man. I regret
Yeah.
it, man. Now I'm getting back into it, man. But I should have never stopped, man, because I could have, you know, I could have had my page up right now, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So bro, I hear where you coming from, and what I could say about that is, for future reference, ignore them. Trust me,
Yeah.
ignore them, bro. Just ignore it. That's what the internet does, bro. They troll, bro. That's what they do, bro.
Trolls. Yeah.
You know, yeah, bro. That's what they do, bro. Just ignore them. You'll find your certain guys that's gonna make you smile and appreciate what you're doing, bro. You will
Yeah.
find those guys. Trust me, man. Because I found them. I found them too in my comments, you know. And it's like cool, you know. And I like they shit, you know. I like what they say. I'll like give it a like or whatever, you know. But it happens. That's the way the internet is, man. Next time, you know, if you ever decide. Anyway, that's gonna be a question later. I'll talk to you about that later. Something else I was gonna say about YouTube. uh, how was the feeling when you got the call from them from WWE? How was that? How was that? Did you get excited, bro? I ask these questions because you don't seem as excited as I would have been. I would have been going fucking crazy, bro. Like it was my dream. I wanted to be a wrestler. I never became a wrestler, but I did get into, you know, doing what I was doing, you know, which was exciting as well. If it was me and they would have gave me that call, bro, that call, I would have been going crazy, bro. You know. If I'd have been able
Yeah.
to be backstage with Triple H, just meet Triple H. I love Triple H, especially what he's doing now with the company. You say you haven't been watching, but he's doing some amazing things with that company right
Yeah.
now, man. He's making it so much better right now. If I'd have got to, and you could tell he's such a genuine and good dude, man. Like you know, I'm a good reader of people. You know, I could read a person, bro. And from what you hear and what I see, he looks like a real good dude, bro. You know,
Yeah.
you know, how was that like when you got that call and you know you was gonna go do this with the company and be behind the scenes and do interviews and you know, how did you feel? Excuse me.
Yeah, no problem. At first, I was like, "Oh, this is cool, man." You know, I was like, "Man, why did it take so damn long for this to happen?" You know, I wish it happened like 10 years earlier. But I realized at the time that WWE wasn't doing that backstory documentary stuff. They were kind of doing a little bit of it with Confidential. Remember that show? It used to be on
Yeah,
Spike
I
or
remember.
TNN, whatever so they
Yeah,
would they do little things like that, and but they didn't really give too much out. um so I was just, you know, I was excited about it. Had no idea where it was gonna where what it was gonna do for us. I mean, I wasn't looking to make money. I mean, and I guess I really we couldn't. I mean, you know, otherwise expense paid stuff. I mean, that would have been nice. But like, if I would have loved to do the interview with Manny. You know, I think that would have been really cool. Have us sitting side by side, and you know, that would have been the first
yeah,
time I saw Manny in long since we were probably in our late teens. It would have been a long time because we stopped talking after, we grew apart as like most friends do. But
Yeah.
we got back, thanks to Twitter. I was able to find them. Um, but yeah, I just think it was cool. And then I had a little bit of anxiety when I was doing the interview, because I was like, man, they're asking me questions that I really don't know how to answer. I mean, they're asking me something. It felt so weird because they're asking me something that I did. The interview was in 2015. They're asking me something that was almost 20 years ago. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
certain,
Yeah.
and I was like, who would have thought in '96 I would be, you know what I mean? Like it's just, you don't really, it's something I never thought would have happened. I mean, I really didn't think, I was really pissed that when I found that the tape, and I don't know if Manny talked about this, when we found out that the tape made it on Raw. I don't know if it actually was shown on Monday Night Raw in
Yeah, I seen it.
1997, I think.
Yeah, it was a
And
Shawn
they did
Michaels
it.
Bret Hart moment, I think. And no, he was talking to Vince and he showed it and he said, "Is this still a sore spot with you?" I seen that. I know what
Yeah.
you're talking about. Yeah.
and and I remember, and I called Manny, and we were like, "Holy, like, what's going on? Like, wow, this tape has made it. It really made it far." And again, this was before the internet. You could upload videos and shit to the internet because you just couldn't do it with the speed back then. And then again, it was for tape traders, but the quality was so bad that the generation lost. If you remember, uh, people making copies of somebody's copy, you lose your generation loss, and that's how. So it looked like crap by the time it made it on, but it was still, you were able still to see it. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, it was just crazy that it was crazy that it made its rounds like that, and then like I said, it was on DVDs and documentaries, and I'm like, well, they don't really want to talk. They don't really care who did it, but they actually do, because now people really want to know the backstory. I mean, you see these stories of, uh, they're interviewing people of somebody's school teacher back in the day, somebody's gym teacher, people, that those type of people that normally they probably wouldn't have talked about it back then, but now everybody wants to make people human. Everybody is like when they do the superstar stuff, everybody is they have a story, they have a backstory.
Well, that was what, 96 that happened, the current call,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So
And
that's
I do want to,
28 years ago. Go ahead.
28 exactly. And it seemed like when we did the interview in 2015, that was just almost 20 years, and now it seemed like long. And now it seems like, here we are, almost 30 years, so it's still talked about. But I wanted to get to the point where why I started to record the shows. You know, my friends thought I was crazy. They're like, "Why are you gonna record the shows?" And that back then, the camcorders were not the size of your phone. They were, you had to hold them, and I had a handy cam. It wasn't not like a heavy thing, but it was still a pain in the ass to hold it for like this for 2.5 hours, 3 hours. So back in like 94, 95, I don't know how I found it, but I saw that some people were selling bootleg videos of the house shows,
Oh yeah,
like the MSG shows, the
yeah, yeah. I know
shows,
what
and
you're
and they're
talking about.
like, and I'm reading, and I'm like, wow, these matches look great, man. I would love to see them on video. And I'm thinking, I'm a kid. I'm not thinking, like, I'm thinking the quality is going to be good. It's going to be close up. It's going to be, you know, I have to tell you, man, s- must have paid 20, $25 for those tapes, and the quality was so shitty. I was like, what the hell did I pay money for? You know? And I felt so ripped off that I was like, wow, and I'm like, I'm trying to watch it, but I'm like, it really is not that watchable because of the generation loss.
Yeah,
Um, and I just had this idea. I said in '95, I said maybe I could record, do the shows myself, you know, and not feeling I was gonna get caught, not feeling like someone was gonna steal it from me. I didn't think that. It was like a rush for me. And the first
yeah,
show I did was a Nassau Coliseum show in June of 1995. Um, and we sat in the 300s, me and my friend. It wasn't Manny, it was somebody. It was my other buddy AJ, and we recorded the show, and we watched it like the next day, and it was cool. And I recorded a few other shows after that. The MSG. There was a show in October '95, um, November '95. You probably went to those two. They were house shows. Um, and
where at MSG?
yeah, yeah,
I went to the
and
show right before that show, which it was Bret Hart and Undertaker versus Diesel and Shawn Michaels. If you remember on
from
Raw
the
the next
March, it
day,
was like,
that yeah,
yeah,
they showed Diesel turning on Shawn Michaels. He hit him with the chair. I was in that
chair,
show, and the
the
next
chair.
show was the curtain
Yeah,
call. Yeah, that
yeah.
show and the next show was the curtain call. I was
We
in
we
both of them.
weren't at Yeah, we weren't. I don't remember being at that March show, but I certainly, if we were, I don't think I videotaped it. Um, but yeah, so I was kind of selective. We didn't go to all the shows. We were kind of selective which shows we went to, but we knew the MSG show was the May show was big. Now, I did get caught once. Actually, I got caught twice. I got caught once when I got a little too close. It was at Nassau. It was November. Just it was a regular, obviously, house show, and I recorded the whole event. And it was like a six-man tag main event. It was Brett, Diesel, Sean versus Yoko. I want to say Owen and Bulldog. And I got too close. The security said, "Hand over the tapes,"
Oh
and I
yeah, they
had to
took
give I
him.
had to give all the
Wow,
tapes. I had to give all the tapes, and I almost
wow.
had the whole show. And there was an event at the Garden that we went to in August, the one after the May 19th. Um, we Security came, and I think he told me just to turn it off. He said, "Turn it off, turn it off." And he being an ass about it, so I turned it off. Then me and Manny, we moved to another part of the MSG and recorded the rest of the show. Like I said, it was just a rush to do it. We were kids, we were under 18, so it wasn't like we can go to jail or anything like that. But it was just something.
So I tell you this much. I tell you this much. I was jealous when I seen that y'all recorded that shit, bro. Me being there, cause I got pictures. I got some pictures. I
Yeah,
lost some of them, but I got a couple of them there. But bro, I was so jealous when I first seen that video, and I said, "Wow, I could have recorded. They would have been using my video." Like I was just so fucking stressed when I seen that, man. But I ain't have a camcorder at that time. I had a camera. I ain't never thought about buying a camcorder at that time. Like it was something that
and they were
didn't even pass my mind. You know,
and they
and I
were
was
they were
older than.
checking. Yeah, they were checking bags too, and I remember the guy looked in the bag, and I said, "Ah, it's just my camera," because it was small enough to where it could pass as a camera, and then they let me through. So uh,
Yeah, that was the
that
first
was
thing I told Manny. I was like, bro, I was so jealous. I was so jealous, bro. But then I thought about it, and I was like, I gotta reach out to these guys, because well, like I said, people don't understand the feeling that experience that day. People don't understand it, man. You had to have been there that day to understand what it was like.
Yeah, yeah, and I know Manny did mention. I almost didn't get it. I almost didn't get that last
Oh
match
yeah,
because
he
I was
told me.
running
He
low
told me. Yeah.
on either tape or battery or both, and I had to cut the razor. The razor match was right before the cage match, and I had to cut it as soon as the match ended. I cut it, and Manny was like, he told you that everybody started chanting, "You sold out, you sold out,"
Yeah,
and
man. If you would have got that part
I
too, man, I remember that. That was
that
one of them feelings too, man. That was one of the moments
yeah,
right there when there
yeah,
was
the fans
no
turned on
pointing at him,
him.
no going like that. Yeah, man.
Yeah,
That was one of the
and
moments, man. You missed that part. Just that part, not even the
y-
match itself, just that part, you know?
yeah, and I remember Manny was he was pissed. He's like, "Man, how could you? That was awesome, man. You hear, we got the
Yeah, I
crowd
know.
going," and I'm like, "Yeah," but I first I kind of felt bad. I was like, "Damn, maybe that was a moment to get," and
It
then
was.
and then and then the moment after was like surpassed that. Um,
Yeah, definitely,
but
definitely.
you know, but yeah, I mean, whenever I would record the shows, I always like skipped like the first one or two matches, like those bullshit, like s- Brooklyn Brawler versus
Yeah,
some, you know, some what do you call them, like those opening type matches that really were
yeah.
like just like or Doink or PJ Walker, Aldo Montoya, one of those type of matches. I say, you know what, I'm not gonna waste my time, waste valuable battery and tape time for that type of stuff. But yeah, what
So
else? What
tell me,
else?
what was it like to meet Triple H, man? Behind the scenes. What was that like, man? I mean, he
It
must be
was
a cool guy. He seems like such a
yeah,
cool guy, bro. Yeah. How was
yeah,
that,
he
man?
was. It was like I said, we were a little intimidated because they're like, man, this guy's again, he's a Russ larger than life. He's running the company. Um, it was just trying to be ourselves without passing out. I know Manny was. They told him when he handed over his phone, he gave it to one of the girls
Excuse me.
there, and she said, "Hey, you're right. You're kind of shaking a little bit." Like he was so like nervous because he probably was like, "What the hell's going on?"
Yeah.
Because we weren't expecting to meet all those guys. I'd said, Man,
Who
can you
else you
imagine
met?
if they were
Who
all
else you met
there?"
back there? Who else you met back there?
That was it. It was just they just took us back in that area and then like walked us out. It was just like it was really routine how they kind of did it. Um,
Okay.
but when I went to do the interview for the DVD, um, I was backstage at SmackDown, and I walked past Goldust, Dustin
Yeah.
Rhodes, and there was a
Yeah.
few
I
other
met him.
people. Yeah, there was a few other people, but like I said, I didn't. But to me, they were new. But I knew they were wrestlers, or you just kind of could tell by they weren't like dressed in their wrestling gear. They were dressed in regular street clothes.
So tell me what stood out to you with your experience there? What stood out the most? If not one thing, a couple of things. What stood out to you?
Just finally being recognized. I mean, I tell people we're officially recognized by WWE, which is a fact.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
because we're on the DVD
that's
and
cool.
it's yeah, and because um, to me that's what it would be. Is like, okay, we've finally got our recognition, um, and that's really all. It wasn't looking to make money. Even back then,
Yeah.
we're doing we did the video for ourselves. We weren't doing it to put it out there to sell or profit from it. That's not why we did. Like I said, I did it from my own collection because I bought other people's bootlegs that were garbage. Just wanted my own collection with better quality.
Yeah, you mentioned earlier that you wish it would have happened a little sooner. And I wanted to say something about that. I kind of I don't know, maybe a little sooner, like when YouTube, first started. Maybe it would have been cool. Maybe 2005, 2000. I think that's the year. What year YouTube started? I don't even remember, man.
Yeah, I would say
It start,
2005, 2006 is probably when it
yeah,
started to really
yeah.
gain
Maybe about that
mainstream. Yeah.
time it would have been good, but then again, for one, everything happens for a reason, you know, and I think the nostalgia of that now for people my age that know about that time, I think it's kind of better that it came out later. You know,
Yeah.
like to finally get to hear your side, and maybe not, maybe it should have not took so long. You know, but I think it's good that it took a little bit of time to get out there. You know, for people to appreciate it. You know, like I appreciate it. I don't know if other fans
Thanks.
relate to it like I do. You know, I don't know if the people there that was there that day relate to it as much as I do. But I don't know. I think even now it seems, it's good. It's good. I don't think it was too late. Maybe it could have been a little
Yeah.
earlier, but I don't think it was too late. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But I would say I from that event, um, and I heard Vince was saying it on one of the, I think it was the Click DVD. He said from that moment he learned that you can go a little bit off script because the fans enjoy that stuff. And I noticed when Monday Night Raw, especially in the '90s, late '90s, would go off the air, some of the events that I would there'd be like weird shit happening in the ring once the cameras were off, and it was
Yeah.
like they kind of went out of
Yeah.
character a little bit, and the fans
It
loved
still
it.
happens.
Like,
It still
yeah,
happens.
so like with
Yeah.
Kane, I don't know, it came to my mind like with Kane, or whatever reason, it's not like, his monster persona is one, and then like when the cameras were off, it's like he kind of started dancing or some weird shit happened, and it was like, and the fans got a good laugh about
Yeah.
it, like stuff like that, or Austin
Yeah.
having a drink with somebody, and then somebody that he's not supposed to, and then he stuns him after, then the show's over, or some weird shit like that is so I think from the curtain call and kind of observing that, okay, the fans kind of like this stuff, it's not something that they're going to see all the time, especially on TV. So
I mean, they seem to think sometimes. Well, back then, it seemed like if we were dumb and we don't know what's going on. I knew exactly what was
yeah.
going on at that time. I knew about the
Yeah.
click. I knew that they were all friends. I knew that. I knew all of that already. You know, like Jim Cornette speaks about it, and he says, "Oh, the fans didn't know what's going on." I was surprised, but when I thought about it, I knew exactly what was going on. They were all friends. Two of them were leaving, and
Yeah.
they were saying goodbye. I knew exactly what was going on.
Yeah.
I wasn't confused at all. If you was a big time fan like me, you knew what was going on. You know,
Yeah.
Jim Cornette is just stuck in his ways from kayfabe. You know, he
Yeah.
wants to hide everything, and we passed those times already.
You
Now
you
it's
can't
like,
put it back in the yeah.
yeah, now it's like, what do you think? I'm dumb? I feel like you trying to treat me like if I'm dumb. Like I'm not dumb.
Yeah.
I know. You know. I
Yeah.
mean, he must
You
be
can't.
dumb to even think that. That's the way I
Yeah.
look at it.
Yeah, this is not the way it was 30, 40 or whatever years ago. You can't put it back in the bottle the way it used to be. This is a different time,
Oh,
it's
yeah,
a different
man.
generation, especially with the internet, smartphones, people their mindset is different, and information is readily available to anybody. So like people know when, like Goldberg, right? If Goldberg was like in a WrestleMania 20, They knew Goldberg was leaving. They knew Brock Lesnar was leaving, but they didn't say it to everybody. The fans knew. The fans knew
Yeah,
in the crowd, like,
exactly.
you guys are both leaving. Fuck you. You guys are both out of
That's a
here. Why should
perfect
we
example.
give a shit?
That's a perfect
Yeah.
example.
Hmm.
And I don't mean to call Jim Cornette dumb because I know he's a very smart dude. But to sit there and think that we're that dumb, then you must be dumb. You know? That's the way I look at it. You know? And
Yeah.
I feel bad saying that because I know he's not an idiot. You know, he's a smart dude. He should know better than that. You know? So we talked about you not being into wrestling no more. What happened? Because like I said, all right. So I fell out of it for a little while because I don't know if you know, but it became like it just was horrible. They were doing some garbage stuff that you just couldn't get into, you know. But
Yeah.
now that Triple H has took over and UFC bought the company, and it's just changed so much, and it's getting so much better, you know. So my question is, what happened? Why did you fall out? Why you don't watch it no more?
I just lost interest. Like I said, I was watching a lot in the 80s, the 90s. There was a brief time in the early 90s I stopped watching. I mean, I was young, had a girlfriend, so that was, didn't really interest me. Then I started watching again, 93, mid 90s. Probably around late 90s I stopped. Started watching again when the WCW was bought out. I said, "Oh, let me check it out. This might be cool to watch." The failed invasion angle. Everybody was hoping for the big time, the big main eventers coming right away, but they didn't. And so the aggression era watched. Boom, Bischoff came on. I was watching. I was a little bit more tuned in around that time, and this, yeah, like I said, like around WrestleMania 20, I watched. I didn't go to WrestleMania 20, but I did go to the event in the city. It was like a brunch. They had like a brunch at one of the hotels with the superstars.
Oh, that's
Um,
nice. You went there?
yeah, I don't think it was worth it though for the amount for
No.
what it was a meal. You got to watch them talking. I didn't meet anybody, but I did it with
Okay.
my girlfriend at the time, so that was cool.
That's
Um,
a cool date, man.
yeah,
Shit.
yeah, and um, I watched yeah, like the 2000 the ECW reunion shows. I watched that. That was kind of cool to see. Um,
So what you think? You just grew out of it? You just
Yeah, just kind of just lots of interest. I mean, it wasn't like what drew me to it when I was younger is was not there anymore. I mean, um, and it became kind of predictable. It became like, okay, I kind of seen this, kind of know how this is gonna go, what's gonna happen. You
yeah,
could kind of tell who's gonna turn on who, and why is that guy in the ring? Oh, he's not. He's gonna jump him. It's gonna jump somebody that
yeah.
nobody expected. Um,
I think
I
as we
just
get
kind of lost.
older, I think as we get older, like cause you know, like I said, I lost interest and now it's been getting good. So I've been watching a little more, you know, but I don't faithfully watch the show every week. I usually go to YouTube and catch the main parts of what happened, you know. But I don't sit
Yeah,
through the whole show. But what I can say is that it's getting really good, man. Even the girls, man. You got Bianca Belair. I
mhm,
don't know if you know her, Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch. Oh, they
mhm.
doing amazing things, bro, over there, man. Like I'm so surprised. I never liked women wrestling, bro. But what they doing, bro, them girls, bro, they are fucking amazing, bro. You
Yeah,
know,
they don't look
sometimes
stiff
like
anymore. I know
not
for a
all of
while,
them.
like you'd be like, man, these girls look very stiff. With it, very like you can tell
Yeah.
that they don't feel like that
Well, Trish Stratus
relaxed.
came back. Trish Stratus came back, and it was like, in my opinion, she could not go with these girls doing what she was doing back
Mhm.
then, trying to do the things that she was doing back when she was wrestling. It was like, to me, she didn't even belong in there with them. You know, it's a different time. You know, it's a different time. These girls are doing things that men are doing, bro. You know,
Yeah.
they're fucking amazing, bro. I'm telling you, Bianca Belair, look her up, bro. Yesterday or 2 days ago, there was a pay-per-view. I put on the because I got Peacocking, so I could watch it for free.
Hmm.
I put on that pay-per-view just to go to the Bianca Belair match. Just to fast forward all the way to the Bianca Belair match. She had a tag team match with this other girl named Jade Cardew. She's a beast. She's not a really good because she's just starting Jade Cardew, but
Right.
she's a fucking ant, bro. That
Mhm.
girl top of muscles and she's pretty too. But Bianca Belair, she's an amazing wrestler.
Yeah.
She's a fucking animal. She's brolic. She got muscles too. And she's fucking hot. She's hot. She's hot, man. Yeah. Charlotte is amazing. She's an amazing wrestler. Ric Flair's daughter,
Yeah.
amazing. Um, they had another girl named Sasha Banks. She left the company though, but
Hmm.
she's thinks she's in AEW right now. She's amazing as well. It's a couple of girls, Io Sky. Um,
Hmm.
um, they got another Japanese girl. I forgot her name, but she's amazing. They got like two Japanese girls that are really, really good. Yeah, man. The girls are doing some good things too, man. There now. Yeah, man. But like I said, I
Well,
still, you know, I think when you like I was saying, I think when you with age, like you said, you know, when you know what's gonna happen, or you like plenty of times I did the same thing. I'm looking at it and I'm watching with somebody and I'd be like, this is gonna happen. Watch this. Boom. And exactly what I say happens. And I look at them and tell me I don't know wrestling, you know, and they laugh or whatever. But so I hear where you're coming from. I understand where you're coming from. Um, but I think with
and
age, like sometimes they would throw the punch, and then I would see the punch not hit or something. It just looks so fake, and it'd be like, oh man, I don't want to watch this, you know. So I think with age, with maturity, you just you just drift away from it because of those small
yeah.
things, you know, that you see because you're so into it and you know it so well that you know it becomes not as important it was when you had to watch it every week, you know, like back in the days.
Yeah. Yeah. And I will say, you know, when we used to watch back in the early to mid '90s, it just seemed easier to follow. I mean, we had three promotions: WWF, WCW, and ECW. It just seemed easier to follow. Like we weren't overwhelmed. Um,
Yeah,
you know,
that's
th-
true.
and that was that, and that was that because it was so black and white. Uh, back back in those days, and it just kind of became, you know, once the late '90s hit, it was titles changing left and right. You know, one week, and I know WCW was notorious for that. It's like they'd have a world champ on a Sunday night, then a new champ on Monday, and then like the next week or two later, it'd be like a new champ. Like the titles just kept changing. Where you go back to the early, I mean, you'd have a world champ like once, maybe twice a year.
You
You
know,
know,
Roman Reigns just had a long run with the belt. You don't know about that?
I that I did read about, but there's two belts, right?
Yeah.
There's two. They split, right?
Yeah,
The
yeah.
Raw
They
and
just made
SmackDown.
that other
So
belt not too long ago, though. That belt just been
that's
made.
the other thing too. That's the other thing too. They have split brands, they have different belts, and then they unify it for a little bit, and then they go back
Yeah,
to it. So
yeah, 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 man. But he just had a good long run with that belt. Yeah. So, you never watched AEW or none?
I know it's on. I mean, I'll flip through it, but I won't be engaged
Yeah.
in
So you don't
watching.
know
I
anybody
know
that's over there, or nothing like that?
isn't
Like Will
isn't Edge
Osprey,
over
Will
there?
Osprey, Edge is over
The
there.
new
Will
guys.
Osprey, you never heard of Will Osprey?
I must have seen the name this summer, but I don't.
If you ever come across him, check him out. He's an amazing fucking wrestler, and
Yeah.
he's a hell of an interview as well, bro.
Yeah.
That guy needs to
Okay.
come to WWE. He's the only one that stands out to me at all of them. Kenny Omega a little bit. You know, I'm probably gonna get blasted by the fans online because of this, but Kenny Omega don't. He stands out to me, but not as much as Will Ospreay. He's an amazing
Hmm.
wrestler too, Kenny Omega. But it's just something about him that doesn't catch my eye. I think maybe he needs to come to WWE so they could do better things with him, and then maybe I'll think different of him. But
Right.
those are the two wrestlers over there that I think maybe should come to WWE. Yeah,
Yeah. I
yeah,
know.
man.
Again, I don't follow, but I know Cody Rhodes,
Yeah,
Dusty Rhodes' son. I know he started in WWE.
yeah.
Just kind of had a weird gimmick. Then he went to AEW, kind of
He
reinvented
started that
himself.
company. He basically
Yeah,
started that
yeah,
company with the Young Bucks.
yeah. And
Yeah,
then he came back as
yeah.
a better
I'm glad he
star.
came back. I'm glad he came
Yeah,
back.
yeah,
I like him. He's good. I like what he's doing. I
yeah.
like
I
how the
see. He
fans are.
gets a lot of. Yeah, he's got a lot of fans
Yeah,
behind
he got a
him.
lot of love. He got a lot of love. Yeah, man.
Yeah,
He's good, man. I like him.
yeah. I will say the most wrestling that I watch now is, again, it's going back to the A&E uh, shows, the legends, the rivals, the lost treasures, and the
Mm.
stuff on Vice, the stuff.
Yeah,
Uh,
I watch
the
that
W
stuff.
what killed WCW. I know there's a new episode on tonight, so I'll
Yeah,
be
I
watching
watch
that.
all that. Yeah, I watch all
And
that.
then the dark side of the
Yeah, I watch that
wrestling,
as
whatever
well.
they call that. Yeah, so that was cool. They put some
Yeah, I
pretty good
watch
ones,
all
and
of that.
I like now how they actually show the footage. They show the actual footage from like WWE, where for a
Yeah,
while they
yeah.
were showing like a simulated version of some, you know what I'm talking about. They didn't show the
You know why is
actual
that?
footage.
You know why is that?
Why?
First of all, the Rock $7 company is affiliated with Dark Side of the Ring, and
Okay,
second, the Rock he has a spot in the corporate in WWE as well. So
right.
he must be making that happen, in my opinion, somewhere or another.
Yeah,
You know? Yeah.
yeah. The shows are a lot better when they show the real footage, not the earlier episodes. They were just showing like I said, they were showing like simulated stuff happening of people that look like the wrestlers, or
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
or
seen that.
some
I seen
old
that.
picture that wasn't WWE related. It was just so that it's much better now. I'm glad, because people like me who watched it back then. It's like, okay, yeah, we can be engaged and watch this show.
So, do you ever go online and see how the fans are divided between the AEW and WWE? You ever seen that? You ever noticed that?
Not really, but I have read that they wanna, which I think should have happened a long time ago, especially for WrestleMania, since it's now freaking 2 nights, I guess, maybe three, I don't know. Um, they should have an event that has all the promotions. They say the unforbidden door should be broken. I think that should have
That'd
happened a
be
long time ago. I
interesting.
think that would
Well, they
be.
doing it with TNA right now. WWE and TNA like TN. I haven't seen a WWE guy go to TNA yet, but TNA, the ladies with the belts are coming and doing like the Royal Rumble of the women in
Yeah,
WWE. You know, so it's happening sort of with TNA and WWE, but now with AEW. What they
yeah, I
doing
just
is
think that
just
was.
switching. They AEW is doing like basically what WCW is doing. Wrestlers going there and wrestlers coming here,
Yeah,
like that.
like
But
I would have
the
loved to see.
fans, they go ahead. I'm sorry.
I would have said, and this again going back to the 90s when they did the ECW invasion in 97. And I know Manny and I were really watching the ECW in 95, 96. and then we saw that was unexpected. We weren't expecting that, but we thought there was going to be a little bit of a. I mean, and if you remember, some superstars did kind of cross over, going to like the talent exchange,
Yeah, they were doing it all the
which you
time. Jerry Lowe went over there. Bret Hart went over there to ECW. Van Dam, Tommy Dreamer, Sandman came to WWE and did a show here, show there. Same thing with Bret. Terry Funk was there,
Terry Funk. They
at
had a
that
Terry
time.
Funk,
Yeah, he
like a
was.
reunion, some memorial or show or whatever it
Yeah,
was
yeah.
called.
And
Like a
Bret wrestled him, right? Didn't Bret
yeah,
wrestle him that day?
yeah,
Yeah, I know. I remember. Yeah,
yeah. So stuff like
yeah,
that, I think is cool. When you do that cross promotion stuff. Um,
yeah.
and who knows
So
what
you
with
ain't.
UFC where that's gonna go. I mean, it's gonna look kind of stupid if they bring a bunch of UFC guys to then become like wrestlers, unless I mean, if it works, if they can do both, that would be kind of cool, like what they did with
I
Brock.
said the only UFC guy that I ever seen did anything good in WWE or any wrestling company was Ken Shamrock. Even Dan
Yeah.
Severn sucked to me. Um, Rampage came to TNA, he sucked. Tito Ortiz came to TNA, he sucked. They all suck. They got no character. They don't know how to act. They don't know how to act mad. I don't know, man. I don't like when they come. The only one that could do that ever
Yeah.
did it good was Shamrock. He's the only one that ever
Hmm.
did it good, in my opinion. And Matt Riddle, he's in WWE. He was in WWE. He just got fired. He was a UFC guy, but he totally, went wrestling. He forgot about UFC
Yeah.
because he got fired. So he totally went into wrestling, studied it, and became a wrestler. So that's why he became so good. Shamrock was actually a wrestler before he fought UFC, so that's why he was so good.
Yeah.
But they the only two guys that. Oh, and Brock Lesnar. I'm forgetting about Brock Lesnar. Bobby Lashley, he was in Bellator. He wasn't, but it's all fighting, so it's the same thing. So those are the only ones, four of them, that I could say really did something. Them guys when they come, they be so corny to me. Like they face, you could tell they act mad, but they not really mad. You could fucking tell,
Yeah.
bro. You know? Yeah. So you don't know about the fans being divided? You seen that, like, about with WWE and AEW? Because I hate it. I think
Mm.
I don't know, man. Man, like it's like the fans of AEW fight with the fans of WWE. Some of them actually say that AEW is gonna take over, and that's so ignorant to say to me because WWE is so big, bro. It's nobody gonna ever stop them from doing anything.
Yeah.
I don't care how much money Tony Khan got, which I know he's a billionaire as well, but it's just not happening. And the fans actually will put things out there like that, like, oh, AEW is gonna take over and it's gonna run them out of business and stupid comments like that. It's like, bro, just
Yeah.
enjoy wrestling, man. Like, well, we liked that back then when WCW and WWE. No, well, not me. At least I used to switch channels and watch both.
Yeah.
You know,
That's how we
and
did
these
it. Yeah.
fans seem like AEW's fans like WWE is the fucking enemy, bro. And I don't understand that. It's like enjoy it, man.
Yeah.
It's terrible, but it's the internet, bro. Like I told you earlier, it's the internet, bro. You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anything you like to share from your experience, bro? Anything we left out?
No,
Anything you think of?
it's something there's a question that Manny and I kind of have, if and when it ever does happen, like if they ever have a WWE museum or like a WWE Hall of Fame,
Oh, I've
will
thought about that too. The museum, man. I've thought about that. I've had that
because of
same
this
thought.
because of the treasure stuff that they collect,
Yeah,
would
man. That
we
would be
would we
amazing.
be would we be mentioned? Would they ask for anything like a videotape or something? I don't know.
Yo, that would be amazing. Like somewhere where we could just go, like at a museum, bro. Like you said, or Hall of
Yeah.
Fame. You know, a Hall of Fame building where you go and I don't know, man. I can't believe they haven't done it yet, man.
They,
Like with all the
and
fans,
they've
you
been
know how
talking
packed
about it.
that shit would
Yeah,
be,
yeah, they
especially when they
talked about it
first
for a
open.
while.
Yeah,
Yeah, they were
I've heard.
saying,
I heard. Go ahead,
yeah,
man.
they said Orlando, but that's been, I mean, everything's a rumor. I mean,
Yeah,
it's been a long conversation that near where the next the what's that show, or the developmental, uh
yeah. NXT.
near NXT. That's it. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, man, but it has to be a big building, man, like a literally a museum, bro. You know, with all the fucking wrestlers that I mean, it's like the Hall of Fame, you know, like so many wrestlers should be in there, but they're not there. And I would not want them to do that with the museum, you know. I would like them to just
yeah,
put everything, you know, everything that we need to see that's just gonna be like, oh,
yeah,
look at this, you know, you know, there's guys like Big John Studd, man. He's not talked about these days, man. And let me tell you, he was a guy that stood out to me back then, you know. And that guy was the first.
yeah,
He was one of the first to make movies, and you know, he opened them doors, man. And he's not spoken about like that, you know.
right.
And he was amazing, bro. He was fucking huge, bro. Guy weighed almost 400 pounds, 6'9", bro. You know, fought Andre Hogan, everybody. You know, he's a guy that don't get his credit. I think, you know,
Yeah,
even though he is in the Hall of Fame, but there's plenty that are not in the Hall of Fame that deserve it, man. You know,
yeah,
so I would hate that. You know, so that's why I say they would have to make that museum huge. You know, huge.
yeah.
Yeah, man. So you don't have a YouTube page or nothing, right?
YouTube, no, no.
Yeah, I was telling your boy, man, you should do a YouTube page, man. I swear, I think that y'all will blow up, bro. I think that y'all will blow up. I really think that I think y'all have a following that y'all don't realize. You know, I mean, if you're a fan
Yeah,
like me, like I'm sure y'all will. You're gonna get a following, man. You know, you have a following probably that you don't even know about. You know, and I'm not positive
yeah,
of that, but I think you do. You know, whether
yeah.
you
I know a
believe it
lot
or
of
not.
fans. Yeah, a lot of people I know reached out to Manny, and over the years. So that's cool. A few people reached out to me too once the DVD was released. Um, but yeah, we're
Yeah,
just fans. I mean, we had a fan experience, and we love to share it. You know, it's I think as a fan, like, you just want, I don't know about Manny, but I know when I used to go to the shows, and I used to be, you know wanted to be, I wanted Bret Hart sunglasses, or I wanted, you know what I mean? I wanted to be a part of the show, wanted to have that cool fan experience, and, sit close to ringside. And we were never able, as kids, to sit close to ringside,
I
or
mean,
touch the wrestlers or anything like that.
I mean, yeah. A&E reached out to you. WWE reached out to you. A bunch of podcasts
Yeah,
reached out to you. I mean, I think you can capitalize off this, bro. You know, I really think you can capitalize off this, bro. You know, but all right. You said your friend left some things out. Did you speak about that? Did you speak about the things that you felt he left out? You have mentioned that
yeah.
to me
Some of
when we
them I
had the
cover. Well,
conversation.
he mentioned the Garden. It was Brooklyn when we went to Raw. That's where we met Triple H.
Oh,
So
okay.
I just want to
Barclays,
clarify. It was
Barclays.
the Barclays Arena, yeah,
Okay.
or Center, whatever it's called. Yeah, because he said the Garden, um, but it wasn't the Garden. The curtain call was at the Garden, and
Yeah.
then Just yeah, no, just the little bits, the little pieces, the gaps that he left out, like as far as being there that night, recording the event, how the tape got distributed, um, or leaked out, and yeah, just and how they were able to contact me, because otherwise there wouldn't be uh nobody would have reached out. I mean, nobody. Sometimes you just got to put it out there, you know. I mean, in life, you just if you know, it's whether it comes to a relationship, you want to ask somebody out, just ask them out. What's the worst they could say? No,
He
you
had
know. That's
mentioned
how.
being a little angry. He had mentioned being a little angry when that third party guy put that tape out. Did you feel like that too?
Yeah, yeah. That
You was
was
pissed?
the dirt sheet writer that we knew, that we trusted. He was like a friend, because he was also kind of an insider uh to the to the industry, to the wrestling. I don't know if he didn't work for WWE, or he said he would like drive the wrestlers from the arena to the hotel. So he had a part. I don't know if it was like he was a I don't know if WWE paid him, or it was something private,
He
but
had
he would always
connections.
write it.
He basically had
Yeah,
connections.
he would write about it in his newsletter, and he's, oh, I met Sonny, Sonny, and we're like, wow, man,
Yeah, yeah,
you talked to Sonny, and we were like so fascinated about that, because Sonny was hot, especially in those
yeah,
days.
yeah.
Not
Back
so
then,
much now, but
you heard what happened
um,
to her?
yeah, yeah, she killed somebody, a drunk
Yeah,
driver,
yeah,
DWI.
yeah.
She's in
That's
jail. I
terrible. I
mean,
interviewed her
train
as
wreck.
well. I interviewed
Yeah,
her as well.
and the
Yeah,
sad part, I mean, you go back to when she was in the Hall of Fame, and she looked good. She cleaned up. I mean, I know that was about over 10 years ago, but
yeah. I seen her
you
about
know,
that time. I went to an event. It
yeah,
was it was called AWE. I went. I had some
hmm,
backstage. I had backstage clearance, and she was back there, and she had just got the Hall of Fame, and she looked good, man. It's
yeah,
fucked up what happened to her. It's
yeah,
terrible.
yeah. But I guess going back to the question, yeah. So he asked us for a copy, and we gave it to him. Um, I don't know if we just didn't trust him, or we maybe
Your
were a
boy
little
said he gave
naive
it.
about it,
Your boy
a
said he
little
gave it to
ignorant.
somebody else, and that other person is the
Yes.
one that, right? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. A friend of his who had another newsletter, and then she had connections directly to Shawn Michaels, maybe a few other wrestlers, and then that's how it started to spread,
So you didn't
like
like that
wildfire.
neither. So you didn't like that neither. That he gave it to that third guy, and then he put it out there.
No, and he also made us kind of feel bad. He's like, "Oh well, you guys shouldn't have been doing that in the first place." So he was kind of
Oh,
laying the guilt on us.
I
Yeah,
understand now why you didn't like it. The fact that's foul. That's foul.
yeah,
Yeah,
and
because I was kind of weirded out that he
yeah,
felt that way because I kind of probably would have been excited about that too. I'd be like, shit, it's out there, no doubt. Let it get out there. Like I said,
yeah,
I'm always thinking about capitalizing. Like this is why I'm telling you about capitalizing off the YouTube channel and stuff. So that's what that would have been my mentality. I would have been thinking, how can
yeah,
I capitalize off this? Yeah, man.
yeah. I mean, back back then, maybe if we didn't give a few, give a copy out to him, and then from there, I mean, maybe it would have just been like an urban legend, right? People would have talked about it, but nobody would have, oh, that didn't happen, and no, no, we got the actual video. And but from what I understand, we couldn't. I mean, it was done illegally, right? We were kids, so, but we were recording something that was not. We snuck it in. We recorded. Uh, we recorded an event that was not. It was. I don't know what the exact terminology is, but
Wasn't
it wasn't something
televised.
like we
It was
did.
a live event.
Yeah, it was. they were characters for a show. It's like recording like a Broadway show or something and then selling it. Um,
Yeah.
so it wasn't like it happened in public. It happened in a setting, like a private setting that we actually paid to get into. Um, but I heard that somebody actually recorded, like, I think the first Super Bowl on a videotape. That was like back, there wasn't videotapes then. Like they recorded on somebody, and the guy tried to sell it, and he couldn't sell it because it's copyright. It
Yeah.
was like
So
copyright
if it makes
infringement because.
so if it makes you feel any better, I don't know. I'm sure there's probably plenty of people that felt like I did if they was there that day and seen that video when they put it on Raw. I was excited, bro. I seen that video and I was like, I was there that day. I had never seen the video of that day before.
Oh,
So it
that
was
was the
very
first.
exciting for me. It was
Oh,
very
okay.
exciting to me to see that video on Monday Night Raw. So if it makes you feel any better, I was like,
Yeah.
wow, I was there that day. And like I always talk,
Yeah.
bro, I told you, I don't know if I told you, I've had conversations about that day, talking about doing this interview with people and get chills talking about it to them of how special that day was and how I'm so happy to have this interview with y'all and things like that. You know, like that's how I feel about it. I don't know how anybody else does, but I'm sure somebody in that audience must feel that way as well, bro. You know, and
Yeah.
that's the honest to God truth, bro. I wouldn't. I'm a grown man. I wouldn't sit here and tell you I got chills in my body just talking about that. I'm gonna fucking do the interview with the one guy that interviewed them that day. That recorded it that day,
uh,
and I was there that day, and how special that day was, and I get goosebumps talking about it, bro. You know, and that's the truth.
Nice.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, man, I'm almost done, bro. We about to conclude this, man. You got any questions for me? Anything you want to ask me?
No, no, it was just this was awesome, Nessa. I appreciate you reaching out to us, and glad we could share our story, share our experience with you. And who knows what's next? We never. I mean, like I said, I thought when I did the interview with the DVD that was it, and then we got another call. A couple of years
Yeah, I
later.
was
So we
telling,
we never know.
I hit up your boy, man, and I didn't want to tell you on live, but I'm gonna tell you on live anyway. I would love to do something with y'all, man, like on a regular basis. Us three. Somewhere or another, if
Okay.
y'all could, get back into wrestling a little bit, just watching, and I think we could have some good conversations on YouTube, bro. I think we could start something real good if we could do like something on a weekly basis, and it's just something to think about if you want. I think we could, you know, I could be a good backup for y'all, and I'm sure after you start getting back into it, you'll have enough. You'll get it back. Your knowledge will come back of it. You know, but I
Yeah.
really would love to do something with both of y'all, bro. Like just do something on YouTube on a weekly, maybe bi-weekly basis. Take an hour of our day and make it happen.
Okay.
I told your boy, I texted him and he said it sounded good. If you want, get back to him, talk about it, and we'll talk about it, man. I would love to do that, man. I
Yeah.
really would. Yeah, man. Like I said, I think you can capitalize off this, and even if it's not, because we talked a lot about this, and a lot of this is out there already. But in wrestling in general, even UFC, and there's plenty of fucking guys with podcasts talk about what's going on with UFC and the pay-per-views that I have. There's plenty we can do, bro. Plenty. I have
Hmm.
plenty ideas, bro. I have plenty ideas, bro. Even boxing, bro. Like it's just so much entertainment out there that I think we could do something, man. And it'll be interesting. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Um, what's your Twitter, bro? Give me your Twitter handle.
I don't do Twitter. I don't have a Twitter.
You
I'm
say
not
you
really
met your
big
boy. You
into
use
social media.
Twitter. You say you met
I
your boy
did.
through
I
Twitter.
did.
That's why
So
I added that
I did.
question.
Yeah. So I did, but I don't put it. I mean, I'm not. I only created a Twitter account back in 2012, really just to. I think it was really because I found Manny and I wanted to reach out to him.
Oh, okay. So you're
That's it.
not on it like that.
If you try to look me up, you'll see probably something from 2012, maybe. That's it.
Okay.
But yeah, I got no feeds, no post tweets, whatever you call them.
All right.
Yeah,
I got you.
yeah.
All right.
I
That's
do
about
have
it,
a
bro.
yeah, I
Go
do
ahead.
have a Facebook uh page that I did post some of the shows on there, as well as some other shows that I collected. Uh it's called let me get it for you. I think you would I think you would like it, and fans would like it too, because there's some shows on there, and I was finally able over the years to get some good, like the house shows that I paid for back in the day that I got ripped off. I was able to get good quality of those digitally,
Yeah.
from probably the person who actually recorded it, and I was able to, because it's a digital file now.
So what is
It's
it?
not
A
on a
like
tape.
page? A like page on Facebook?
No, I posted the videos myself.
On
Um,
Facebook?
on Facebook, but it's a like wrestling fan camp. I'll tell you the exact name. Hold on.
So it's a like page, basically. A like page on Facebook that you
Well, you could
created.
see the videos. You could see the videos, and so it's called Wrestling Fan Cams.
Wrestling fan cams. Let me write
Yeah, I
that
haven't
down.
posted in a while, but I do have a bunch of videos that I uploaded. Um, you see a picture of Owen Hart giving Bret Hart the sharpshooter. That's like my cover pick for that.
All right.
And
I just wrote it down, so
yeah, I don't know if
I'll
you
check it
could
out.
I don't know if the background, you got background on there.
Oh yeah, I see it.
Yeah, so I got like the first ladder match, Bret versus Shawn. That
Yeah, I
was a
seen
link
that
I
before.
found on Daily Motion. Nassau, November 10th, 95. A WWF event, which was not my video, but it was a WWF Experience event, August 24th, 96 in Toronto, Canada. I'll go over the matches. And this was shot really good. Shawn Michaels Goldust ladder match, Undertaker Mankind casket match, Psycho Sid versus Vader lumberjack, Godwins versus New Rockers, Triple H Bob Holly, Savio Vega versus Justin Bradshaw Caribbean strap match, uh, Austin Mark Mero and Jose Lothario Cornette. So Owen Bulldog versus Smoking Guns. But it was cool, like just check it out. Like I said, some of it's my work, some of it I was just able to collect over the years, and you know,
Yeah.
there
You
was a
post on
show
that
too.
often or you stop posting?
About a year I haven't posted, but I maybe
See,
when I
that's
have
what I
time
mean.
I'll.
That's what I mean, bro. That's what I
Yeah,
mean, man. You see, you did that. You did that. You need to get into YouTube and start with your Twitter, bro. You'd be surprised what Twitter does. Most of my
yeah,
followers came through Twitter, bro. Most of
yeah,
my bro, I was sending DVDs to England, bro, because people knew through Twitter what I was doing on YouTube, bro. Because I had a website and I was selling DVDs
mhm,
when I first started. I'm not doing that anymore. I don't have the website no more. Now I just put them straight to
mm,
YouTube, you know. But
yeah,
I had a website, bro, and you could order through my website the DVDs that I was doing, which was the interviews that I was doing. And bro, I'm telling you, a couple of times I had to deliver all the way to fucking England, bro. And people was ordering, bro.
wow,
You be surprised what Twitter do, bro. You know, to get you out there, bro. You need to get out there, bro. I'm telling you, you need to get out there, make a YouTube page, and get up on that Twitter, bro. I'm telling you, bro. It will work for you,
Well, I
bro. I'm
will.
telling you.
Yeah, I know. I
You
know.
can make money, bro. You can make money, bro. Don't sleep on that, bro. That's easy money right there, bro. Right from your house, bro.
um,
You know?
yeah, yeah. There was. I don't know what happened, but like 2 years ago, we were supposed to do a convention. Me and Manny. Again, I reached out to the event guy, the guy in charge of it,
Yeah.
and I emailed because Kevin Nash and Scott Hall were going to be there. It was one of those convention expos that they do with the wrestlers. The autographs. They do Q&A. So I emailed. I said, "Hey," I introduced who I was, and I said Manny, and I said, "Hey, we're the ones officially recognized for WWE for the curtain call. Um, we would like to be part of the expo, and maybe we could do something with Kevin Nash and Scott Hall." And
So
we were
don't
going
tell me,
back and
hold up.
forth.
Don't tell me. They wanted you to pay for a table.
No, they were gonna pay for us. They
Oh
were gonna
yeah?
pay for our expenses. It was
Usually
here
a
in Florida.
place
It was
like
here.
that wants you to play for a
y-
table for you could sell your
Yeah,
shit or or get
yeah,
autographs or whatever.
yeah. It was here. It was in Jacksonville. We were going back and forth with the guy, and I don't know. It was whatever reason. I just didn't have a good feeling the guy was serious. I felt he was kind of flaking out on us a little bit, not really kind of dragging us on. Unfortunately, around that time, Scott Hall passed away. It was right around that time where he died, and I was
Yeah.
like, damn. I was like, well, now there's really no point of even pursuing this, you know, because that was kind of the whole idea behind it, was to have both of them there. Would have kind of drew a little bit attention, being that we were the guys that filmed it. We could talk about it, do a Q&A. We were going to do a Q&A, but like I said, it never materialized. So, um, but that would have been something else that would have we would have liked to do.
All right, listen. I want you to give some thought to what I told you. I want to tell you I
Yes.
have some tricks that would get our shit out there. I have, like I said, I have over almost 2 million views on my page. One of my videos has 275,000 views. You know, I have ways and tricks to get those videos out there. I have some tricks that I do that like I said, I think it'll work, man. Give it some thought. Talk to your
Right.
boy. If you're not willing, that's fine, but give it some thought. Like I said, I have some tricks that I do that's gonna put it out there. It's gonna get it out there. And thank you, bro. Thank you for your time, bro. I appreciate it, man. You know, like I told your boy, you didn't have to do this, bro. You didn't have to do it. I reached out to you. You don't know me from a hole in the wall, and you was willing to do it. You was willing to take 2 hours out of your day to spend with me, and I want to tell you that I appreciate it, bro. Thank you very much, man.
My pleasure, Nestor. Look forward to speaking to you again. Appreciate it.
No doubt, man. You be safe. Take care of yourself, all right?
You too. You too. Be well.
All right. All right, bro.
Take care.